Hey guys, Josh Collacchi here, and I'm here to do a little bit something different at RotoCurve.com. I'm going to show you how I do my research for college daily or for daily fantasy college football. Now, first things first, when you're on FanDuel, you can come to this site, go to their lobby, you can scroll down and see many different kinds of contests. Now, the first thing I do, I would just click on any contest. You don't have to enter it yet. You just go to enter, and then you go down. Once this season, you can see the games, and you can see the given positions. Now, this is for Thursday's, Friday's slate, which we've already discussed, but I'm just going to go back to the lobby and go to Saturday and Sunday just so I can show you exactly how I did this given weeks. All right, so Saturday late slate, enter. All right, now once we're here, obviously you see all of these games at the top. Now, how I did this was I opened an Excel spreadsheet, which I'm sure all of you are very familiar with at this point. And what I did here was I put down each game, see home and away, the line, the over-under, and then the away pass defense, away rush defense, home pass defense, and home rush defense. And then I have the targets here. What this means is basically on RotoCurve.com, which I'll show you right here. If you go to DFS tools, you can find all the free tools we have. But on college football tools, I go to play against defense ratings, which essentially the play against defense ratings gives the rating against the pass and the run in terms of fantasy points allowed for each defense. Now, in order to do this, you go here, and I like to sort by school so that it's in alphabetical order. And for this spreadsheet, say I had Florida State against Georgia Tech. I would find the line, find the over-under, which you can find pretty much anywhere online, and then you go to away pass defense. That would be Florida State's away pass defense, which would be 74. I type that in by going down here, finding the Florida State pass defense, 74. So you go through, fill all these out, and then the way you go from here is, of course, the higher the number is, the better. I just use conditional formatting, which you guys can find right here. And we're able to type in what kind of numbers you like to see. For this, I have anything above an 80 is a good matchup. Anything below a 40 is a bad matchup, and anything in between is a neutral matchup. The way I do this is so I can tell which matchups are good and which matchups are bad in terms of what we're going to see. Now, using the Florida State game as a first reference, Georgia Tech home rush defense. So that means Georgia Tech is 95th in the country against the run. That means that the Florida State rushing attack is an excellent matchup, as you can see here. Now, for those of you that do know, Florida State has one of the better running backs in the NFL, or in college football. He will be in the NFL for too long. If you go over to Florida State, you can see that their running back, Dalvin Cook, is at 9,900. Now, that price is expensive, but given his matchup, which we just saw, and 95 worst or best pass defense or best rush defense in the country, Cook makes for an excellent matchup. Now, the way you can do this, you can go through each game. Of course, you can see all the green things here. If it's green, it means it's a good matchup, as we discussed before. But that's essentially how I put my research together. Now, there are many different ways to do this. Of course, you can look at the line. You can look at the over-under. And for me, the more green there is for a particular category, the better something works out. So in the 8th game, or the late slate on Saturday, you can see Colorado against Oregon State. The line is almost 60, which is a medium line, but it's trending towards the higher echelon of the lines for the given slate. The spread is only 2.5, which means that it's not projected to be a blowout, so both offenses will play a lot. And look at the green here. You see Colorado's rush defense and pass defense are both good matchup for Oregon State, and then vice versa, the rush defense for Colorado or for Oregon State is good for Colorado. Now, that being said, Colorado doesn't rush enough to be considered a good matchup, but that Oregon State offense is very good. They're going to see one of the top matchups for 92 and for 88, so that would make Oregon State's offense a good matchup for cash and a good matchup for GPP. Basically, this is the different ways that you can use all the things at RotoCurve.com to your advantage to do all of your research. Of course, if you didn't want to just use just this rating, you can go to DFS tools. Say you just wanted to look at rushing. Then you would go to college football rushing, fantasy points, rushing points allowed. You would see here that Eastern Michigan is the worst rush offense or worst rush defense in the country. So if somebody is facing them, they have the best option. Now, if you wanted to use this based on the given slate, as we just talked about before, you would go here, you would see, okay, Georgia State or Georgia Tech. Want to see what Georgia Tech's rush defense is? Go to school, scroll down to Georgia Tech. You would see that they're giving up all of these, right? So if you scroll up, you can see that in 7 games, Georgia Tech has given up an average of 30.7 fantasy points per game to opposing running backs, which is good for 95th in the country. It's the same way to find the same numbers, but it's just easier to look at. So you can use all these tools as discussed. We have a lot of offensive tools as well, red zone stats, and everything to your advantage. Just copy some things you want to see, put them on Excel, like you see here. Conditional format some things, and then you can basically find out the way that you want to find your players. So using the example I discussed to find Dalvin Cook, use that example to do the rest of your research, and let's hopefully make this week in college football, and you can use this example for the rest of your college football research for the rest of the season, and let's make it a profitable sport for you. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments or send me a forum post or something like that on rotocurve.com, and I'll be sure to answer anything you have. Good luck, everybody.